Thank goodness I'm finished with high school. I am never going to school again. Uh-oh. My parents want me to go to college! Hey there, buddies! So today I'm actually going to be talking about what it's like to be a first-generation college student. I was a first-generation college student, and I want to give you 5 tips for succeeding as a first-generation college student. I went to college, got my undergraduate, went on to get my master's, and then went to go get my PhD. So even though I was a first-generation college student, I ended up being pretty successful as far as my college career goes. So my first tip for you all who are new to college is find a mentor, and don't just find one mentor, find several mentors. So for instance, find a professor that you're comfortable talking with and talk to them. They're human beings, can't emphasize that enough, and they do want to help you. That's what they're there for. So find someone that you connect with that can help be your sort of guide through the academic journey. The next thing is find a mentor in financial aid or who knows about financial aid. So for that, it was my dad. My dad understood the terms coming from the financial aid office, and he helped me make really good decisions for not having a long-term debt problem and to understand what it meant between subsidized and unsubsidized loans when I was taking out loans. The third type of mentor is find friends. I can't emphasize this enough. Even if you're shy, try to find a friend. Talk to people who are in your field, but also talk to people who are outside of your field. So talk to other students, because the more perspective you get from other disciplines, the better you're going to be able to help. The second suggestion that I have for you is to not be alarmed if you change your major. If you change your major, that does not mean that you failed out of school and that you should just leave school. It means that you are not sure what 100% you want to do. So some students go into it thinking, I know 100% without a doubt what I'm going to do the rest of my life, and I'm going to major in that, and I'm not going to ever change. I was one of those. So here was me when I first started college. I just love the theatrical arts. I love acting. I love being in plays. I love film. I love all of the above, and I know that someday I could be famous. That was what I thought. And then when I got into the program, which was a highly competitive program, and I tried things out, I realized that I didn't really like that program. It just wasn't for me, and I didn't even see myself as being an actress the rest of my life. So I was completely thrown off, wasn't sure what to do, and decided to go a completely opposite route, which was pre-med neuroscience. No joke, I went from theater to pre-med neuroscience. It was that transition that was the most difficult for me, because I had to actually transfer colleges and get accepted into another college within that university, which was a hard process that I'm not sure every single college does. In addition to that, I realized that while I was in pre-med that I sucked at science, got my first C in my college career, and fainted at the sight of blood. So neurosurgeon, making lots of money, operating on people's heads, not so much for me. I then took a whole semester where I just explored different areas, took gen eds, and tried to figure out what the heck I was going to do with my life, and found communication. And it was there that I fell in love, and I never stopped going to school because I loved communication so much. If you change your major, even if it's 4 or 5 times, that's okay. College is a means for you to explore who you are, figure out your identity, and actually do something that makes you think on a deeper level, and it's okay not to know exactly what you want to major in when you first start. The third thing that I want to tell you all, don't be afraid of failure. I cannot emphasize this enough. There are going to be some things you're just not good at. Everybody has their strengths, and everybody has their weaknesses. For me, math was my weakness. I was in remedial math. I suck at math. I wish I knew more about math, but I just don't. And so because of that, I had to struggle through math to get through and to be sure that I got that elective that I needed to get out of the way. You might fail math, you might fail science, you might fail history, Whatever you're not good at, don't be afraid if that does happen. Try again. Don't just drop out of college because you're like, well, I failed, it's over. No, I'm not saying to fail every single class, because if you do that, you're most likely going to get kicked out of college. But if you do have something you struggle with, just accept that it's a struggle and try your best. That brings me to number 4, which is look at the resources your university has for you. Universities oftentimes have several different outlets for students. There are centers for tutoring where you can go get tutored. There are students who are paid oftentimes or who are recruited and volunteer their time to help you with a subject that you're not so great at. So definitely take advantage of tutoring centers on campuses. See what sort of support there is. Some universities actually do have a first-generation college student area, and they help students who are transitioning through the journey. Being a first-generation college student is not easy, and so because of this, try to find as many resources as you can and get involved. The other thing too is see what sort of support networks are on campus for you. One of the highest rates of depression comes from universities. It's a big transition for a lot of people, and especially if you're a first-generation college student who has parents who really don't know what they're doing to help guide you, it can be beneficial for you to meet others who are like you and to also just have a large support network so when you are struggling, you have somewhere to go and to talk to. The final tip that I have for you all is to take advantage of scholarships. This is something that I did not do when I was in undergrad, and I really regret it. So if there's a scholarship that meets you and fits your criteria, apply for it. There's no harm in applying. The worst case scenario is you don't get the scholarship. The best case scenario is that you do get the scholarship. So look into that, and also look into any sort of opportunities that can help you advance. A lot of times on campus, there's career centers and places that you can go get interviewed and they can look at your resume. Definitely take advantage of those. And if there's internships, do that, because you want to also see not just what you're learning in classes and what you're taking and conceptualizing and bringing into the real world, but also thinking about your career and what you can do to network now and what sorts of things might interest you. Those are the top tips that I have for you as being a first-generation college student. I think that these can apply to almost any type of college student, but it was really helpful for me, those sorts of things, when I was in college, and helped me navigate the whole process of higher education. And I highly encourage you to make friends, get a mentor, and just see what services are available. Hope to see you in the next video. Talk to you later.